All right, the last story here, this is a shorter story, but it appears, and thank you, Roger, for bringing this to my attention. It appears that the state of New York actually has a bill that could possibly make New York State a ballot initiative state, which is direct democracy, putting the hands, or actually putting the votes right in the hands of the people. So you would, like my state, Massachusetts, is a ballot initiative state. So when I go to vote, I am voting for those ballot measure questions that are on my ballot. So that's actual direct democracy. What a lot of people who do not live in a ballot initiative state, they don't get the opportunity to do that. They only get the opportunity to vote for a representative and hope that representative will vote for the things that you want them to. And I think we've seen how that's going. So this is huge. If New York State becomes a ballot initiative state, that would put pressure on other states around New York. So this is a big deal. And I think New Yorkers would really like this. I'm not going to read the entire bill, obviously, but I do want to read this top part. This is the bill. It says, Section 1, notwithstanding any other provision of this Constitution, the people reserve to themselves the power to propose laws and to propose amendments to the Constitution, and to adopt or reject the same at the polls, independent of the legislature, and also reserve the power at their own option to so adopt or reject any act or section or part of any act passed by the legislator. 2, as used in this article, initiative is the power of the electors to propose amendments to the Constitution and to propose statutes. B, referendum is the power of the electors to approve or reject statutes or parts of statute. 3, initiative may be used for any measure embracing a single object or purpose, except the following: calling elections, appropriating funds, except for an initiative proposing an appropriation for a single object or purpose, naming an individual to hold any office, naming or identifying any private corporation or other private entity to perform any function or to have any power or duty. Such measures may not be submitted to the electors and shall not have the force and effect of the law. So guys, essentially, if New York State becomes a ballot initiative state, this could be huge. This could be huge. This could help you get some of those local wins, you know, that we've talked about here in Massachusetts, just putting the power in the hands of the people. Now, a couple of things I do want to highlight here. It calls for a single subject and subject restriction rules regarding competitive initiative. It says if provisions of 2 or more measures approved at the same election conflict, those of the measure receiving the highest number of affirmative votes shall prevail. Something Roger added here, this right here needs to be corrected to say the following: in the event of competing state constitutional amendment initiatives conflicting with each other, then the measure with the most yes votes will be ratified into the state constitution. In the event of competing state statute initiatives conflict with each other, then the measure with the most yes votes will become law. However, in the event of competing amendment initiative and state statute initiatives conflicting with each other, and they both are approved, then the amendment will take precedent over the state statute, regardless of how many votes each one got. So, and then there's a couple other things that Roger adds here. Like I said, I don't have time to read the whole thing, but I can share this with you guys because there were more suggestions that Roger made. And then I want to bring up Kathy Hochul. Now, some of you wondering, why was she on the thumbnail? Because Kathy Hochul is the governor of New York. The governor signs bills into law. So I want to take you back to This year, 2023, September, listen to this. It says, Governor Kathy Hochul signed legislation approved earlier this year that she says expands and strengthens the basic right to vote. Our laws are going to modernize and improve every step of the process, from registering to casting your ballot to the Electoral College, Hochul said. The governor signed 10 laws in total Wednesday at New York Law School. The laws build on New York's John Lewis Voting Rights Act signed last year. Among those signed is a law that expands early voting by mail. So again, just to remind you guys, at least in my state, every state's different with ballot initiatives, but at least in my state, when we vote for these ballot measures, at the end of the day, the governor signs these into law. They sign the bills. So here's what I would recommend for those of you who live in a state that is not a ballot initiative state. I would highly recommend that you contact your governor and tell them about what is happening in New York State and push them to put a bill forward. You ask your representatives as well, not just the governor, but to put a bill forward in your state house to allow your state to become a ballot initiative state. And you can use New York as an example. These things aren't set in stone. I give you the ballot initiative states, but that doesn't mean it can't change. Other states can also become a BI state as well. So that's just something to think about. So if you live in a state that's not a ballot initiative state, I highly recommend contact your representatives and ask them to put a bill forward in the House to allow your state to become a BI state.